Hey everybody, and welcome back to Minecraft. We are on episode 12? Let's say 12. If I'm wrong, then we'll say it's a different number after the fact, because I can't change it now. Welcome back, guys. I've done a few things, changed a couple of things around. We've gotten plenty of ender pearls going. Let me switch this out here. Whoa, put my helmet back on. And I've gotten quite a few ender pearls going on. Actually, I can turn that off. It's just sitting there draining power. The essence, I removed the bucket and put it back over there so it would continue to gain. The power was draining way too much. That auto spawner takes a lot of power to do. All the grinders, no problem. All the grinders do not drain my power, like, at all, really. But you run that auto spawner, man, better watch out. So let's see, what do we have going on today? That is a big freaking tree. That's a big freaking tree. I just kind of want to watch it disappear. That's attached to my house. I don't... I'm halfway concerned here. Is he gonna get these wood pieces up here? Nope. Okay. Yes. Oh crap! It did. Well, all right. That was exciting. At least now I know. Well, I had some other rubber wood up here I was going to show you guys, but it's gone. So what are you going to do, right? All the trees that were out there, one of the things you can do with the portal gun is if you push G by default, you can keybind it to whatever you want, but she's a potato, guys. Totally didn't hear what she said other than that, but if you push G, you can actually pick up blocks. And I've probably done this before in one of my videos, I'm sure, before. I use it to get spawners and that kind of thing a lot easier than, anything else. Although the dollies were pretty easy. So, but then you just push G again and it sets it back down. So I took all the rubber wood that we had over there in that rubber wood farm and just kind of plopped it all so that I can get to the sticky sapling little, doobly-doos, whatever you want to call the little dots. That way I can have access to it, which, you know what, this is probably more than enough for pretty much all of my needs, unless we seriously get into industrial craft, which I don't know if we will. Industrial craft, a little bit outdated. There's still some interesting stuff going on with it. There's a toggle latch I was looking up. There's still some interesting stuff that it has and whatnot, but it's a little outdated. Like Ender IO and thermal expansion, all those are like much further ahead in my opinion as far as usefulness. I went ahead and moved our cobble generator into the wall here. It's recessed in, so I won't touch it. The lava won't set anything on fire, and villagers will not accidentally walk into the lava. It's kind of a concern. I set up a reed farm here just because, I'm sure I need reeds eventually. It's kind of intelligent just to have them up and running. And we expanded the village. I told you guys it was kind of one of my plans was to eventually move things, further than just this little square that we had. Not that I didn't like this square. I think it's serving its purpose quite well. This is kind of like the agricultural district, if you will, like it's the farming space. We got a farm, we got the animals, we got the tree farm. The smell tree doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but like even the mob spawners, it's kind of technically like farming, right? Just go with it, guys, go with it. So this can be like the main city area. I will probably build a much bigger, I want to have like maybe a castle type structure in this back area here. That is a spot where I'll probably put an entrance to the outside here, and then I still want to have maybe around in this area, I want to have a like a stable. Yeah, stables. I want to have a stables for the horses and such, because I think that would be pretty cool. This space here used to be lava. Extremely how that is lava. Like how that is lava. Get out of the way. It used to be lava. I cleared it all out, put in dirt so that it would regrow grass, and then this will be kind of the front entrance, which I think kind of gives it a nice cool look. I'm thinking I'm probably going to end up putting a tower of some sort in this corner here. That's why there's the indentation. I also just wanted to kind of give it texture. I didn't want it to just be a couple of different rectangles. That's not very exciting. I also tried to vary up the height of the wall based on the height of the outside wall from the dirt and the grass and such. I just kind of felt that a little bit of variation never hurts. It makes it look a little more realistic. It makes it look more uniform to the rest of the village, although this is still a bit of an extreme. Remember, this is where the sludge was, up underneath the village. I still haven't gone through. I need to just smooth that out, just kind of like flat. And then, you know, you have your slopes and whatnots, so it kind of works quite nice. And the other thing I did is something that I'm actually going to show you guys on how to accomplish it. It's kind of going to be more of a here, this is how I did it run through, instead of, you know, actually putting it together for you, because I wasn't sure it was going to work to begin with. But this is my main gate, and instead of it just being fences and blocked off and you can't use it, there's a couple different ways you could do something like this. You could do pistons. I know a lot of people use like pistons to put in like fences, and then they have the sand that kind of pushes with pistons to like push up and then push down, and that's fine, except you need like a lot of space above or a lot of space below, and it's very space consuming. So we went with the very simple drawbridge tactic that I used underneath over there. And then I'm using these big buttons, and generally if you push a button, it's like powers on, powers off, like super quick. And I don't want that for this, right? I want it to be open, and then I want it to close. So what I did was I can take out that block. I ended up using one of these logic gates from Project Red. Now, what this one is the toggle latch. It's kind of like a T flip-flop, but with two out directions. Like it's in either or is on. Instead of the T flip-flop is with just one output. So, basically what I did is there's a button here. Boop, button. And I'm using the big buttons from Open Blocks because I just think it looks cooler. Like, especially for a castle gate, you want a big button. So you click it, pulls in all the fence postings, the gate is up. So what that does is it sends a redstone signal through this wire here that then tells this to flip from this side to this side. You can see that this redstone signal's on, and I can actually do this manually by just right-clicking it. So you can see how it flips back and forth between the two. And that's determined by this redstone signal. Every time it flicks this switch to the other side. Now, to hide things properly, it's a little more difficult. You can make the covers, but I'm kind of over the covers with the saw and the covers and the little micro blocks, and they're cool, and I may do something with them as far as like building-wise goes. But for trying to actually hide wiring and whatnot, it's a little outdated. I like this new system better of having the painted blocks. Gosh, what are they called? I cannot think at the moment. They're made with the same stuff that you make the wires for Ender IO out of. This stuff, conduit binders. I actually would need more conduit binders. So let's just look up conduit binders. We'll make some real quick. Conduit have to type with one hand because my microphone's in the way otherwise. Conduit binder makes a binder composite. It's gravel, sand on either side, and then clay in the middle. Easy peasy. And you get quite a bit of it for, one single thing. So let's go ahead and do about 2 clay. Just get a stack of that and all the gravel I have. And then I need to actually turn the clay into the balls. And you know what? This has been the most useful thing in the world. The sludge boiler. I cannot believe how useful this has been. I don't have to worry about clay. I don't have to worry about sand. I don't have to worry about dirt. I'm not really using this quartz dirt because the grass won't grow on it. But let me tell you, I get soul sand. I don't know if I actually get netherrack. I might have just dumped that in there after a trip to the nether. But I get soul sand out of it. Mycelium. You get all kinds of interesting stuff out of that. And it costs you basically nothing. So, alright, let's do this. Wash. Okay. We're going to need at least 8. And then on both sides. Then we get the binder composite. Put that away. And then, I was smelting some stuff. Furnace only. Binder composite. That'll get the smelting. And that's the wrong chest. Put that in there. I still don't have sorting, I'm sorry. I think what I'll end up doing when I finally get around to sorting stuff will be to make the applied energistics thing and just go with that sorting system. I like the idea of kind of building up to things, but it's really not that easy to do for me. I don't like having to make a bunch of item filters so that I can filter into different chests and then upgrade that to just a new thing that does... I'd like it all to be just kind of blah, right in one spot. So we'll get there. Don't worry. But anyways, you take the conduit binder and just put it in a block like that, kind of like a chest or whatever else. And you get the conduit facade, and you can use that in the painter, the painting machine, just like you did with the totally drawing glowstone. Just like you do with the glowstone to paint over the glowstone. You just put that right there, whatever block you want it to be painted as, and then it'll paint the blocks for you. So, let's run, jump. I need to work on my road a little bit as well here. So, right about here. There. Okay. So right there is where it begins, and then I run down to right here. And then I just have to go through. And what you can do, because it's not actually... the drawbridges don't connect to the insulated redstone conduits. So what you have to do... I can actually demonstrate it with this one right here since it's not connected to anything. Let's go ahead and get rid of that block. Okay. Since this is not connected to anything, what we can do is you shift left click and then you can tell it to connect to a space that you want it to connect to, even if it doesn't normally connect there. So say if there was another drawbridge right below here, I could tell it to connect down and then turn it on to in out, and then you can see that then I have the connector facing down. So you just have to do that for each one of the drawbridges, and then you have a drawbridge system that'll work. So let's go ahead, bloop, and bloop. Alright, now let me get back down there. So what you have to do is use this red alloy wire with these logic gates. I don't know why, but even using the conduits and forcing them to position themselves towards this thing will not activate it. I don't know why. But that's okay, because the redstone or the red alloy wire will. So you just red alloy wire on both of the walls that you want the buttons to be, up into the machine itself, and then have the output to the side going into the redstone conduit and then to the drawbridges. Pretty easy contraption to do once you figure out how. Because it actually took me probably a couple hours to figure out that I couldn't use the conduits themselves to connect to the logic gate. I was so confused. I was like, this totally should be working. I do not understand why it's not. But yeah, it's the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. I've got a working, functional gate. It's great. I like the size difference of this rectangle versus that rectangle. I think it's definitely going to look more like the kind of main structure of the city. And eventually I'll have all this opened up for villagers to kind of wander through. I'm going to make some other villager buildings in the area. Make like a couple of shop-type buildings. I think there's actually still stores. Store. Well, most of these would probably be storage. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there's some kind of currency type system to trade off on. There almost always is in these mods. So I'll figure it out in the future. And that way I can sell. I'd probably do stuff like sell, potatoes and crap like that. And nothing too crazy. Nothing that pretty much anybody's actually going to buy. But you never know. Maybe somebody needs something. And then maybe we'll sell nether stars. Because Thaumcraft will allow me to obtain nether stars pretty easy. Not that it would be difficult for anybody else, but still, I think we could maybe make a market with it. So let me put my portal gun away. And I don't have... Let me pause right here. I'm going to get a few things together, and then we're going to do a couple of different things. And we're back. Okay, so what I needed to get was a few things, like my obsidian, some string, my blaze rods. Everything's pretty easy to get. What I'd like to do is have an near infinite obsidian generator, which is kind of annoying to do. I've done it before in my series, but what are you going to do? The easiest way to do this would be to have an infinite amount of lava pumping in from a mist world, but Mistcraft's kind of borked. So we're not using Mistcraft at the moment. Next easiest way would be to pull from the nether and bring the lava here, which is a system that I would like to do. And also what we can do is just like in where's it at? Right there. Just like in Attack of the B Team, we can use the magma crucible to create the no, that's not it. What was it? Well, it was one of these blocks. I think it was the magma crucible. In any case, we can use the fluid transposer. No. Yes, it was. I'm sorry. Use the magma crucible to melt down netherrack into lava, and then use the fluid transposer. No, not the fluid transposer. Maybe it's the fluid transposer. I don't remember what the machines are. We gotta look back. Sorry. But anyways, what we're going to do today is we're going to set up a way of getting lava from the nether. And eventually I'd like to switch it out to the netherrack thing, just so I'm not draining the nether. But, for now, this will do. So what we need is reservoir. I don't need a reservoir. What we need is there's a fluid tank. That's nice. We need the pump. We need the liquid pump. It's in Ender.io. I know it is. Let me look up what it's called real quick. I'm sorry. All right, we're back. So I looked up pump. That's the easiest way to find it, right? Because I need a pump, a liquid pump. So I'm seeing all these things and I'm like, well, that's not what I want. And then I see these and I'm like, motherfucker. It's the damn extra utility stuff, not the Ender.io stuff. Again. So apparently I'm just bad at this. But that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Ender Thermic Pump from Extra Utilities. So we'll need Ender Infused Obsidian. Pretty easy to come across. I'm going to need pearls, which I should have known already. Let's grab a couple stacks. I got them to spare now. Ha ha! Alright, so we need this fashion. Boop. And that's all we need, right? We just needed 4. Yeah. We need a diamond, water bucket, a lava bucket. All pretty easy. Actually, I think I put my buckets out here. But I have available fluids. Available. Not available. I can bail them. That was funny, C4. Infinite water source is actually right over here. Water. That's from the water transfer pipe. Whoosh. Okay. So the last thing we will need for this will be iron pick and an eye of ender, which is simply an ender pearl and a blaze powder. Not too bad. Just break one of those apart, turn that into ender powder, or blaze powder, sorry. Blaze powder, ender pearl, eye of ender. Lava bucket on one side, water bucket on the other. That there. A diamond on top. 1, 2, 3. Not 4, just 3. 1 diamond. 1 diamond on top, and then I need... This is why I have 2 crafting stations. I believe I mentioned this before. Endothermic pump. Huzzah. Alright, throw my buckets back in. So now we have the pump so that we can get the water or the lava to us, right? Like it will pull out of the lava. So now I need something to put the lava in that can transfer from the nether to here. Easiest thing to do that, as always, is ender storage, ender tanks. We need a piece of wool, 4 blaze rods, 2 obsidian, and a pearl, and a cauldron, which is 7 iron. So 7 iron, cauldron. Need to get ourselves a piece of wool. Let's... How does that go again? Okay. In the corners, obsidian, that, and an ender pearl. Ender tank. Now, if we want to pull it from there to here, we're going to need 2 of these, 1 for here, 1 for there. So let's go ahead and we can... Dang it, I need another 7 iron. I even knew that going in. Isn't that bad? Okay. Oh, another ender pearl, and then I need another piece of wool. That string farm, man, I'm telling you, it's so good. Now we have 2 ender tanks. Boop, boop. Now the biggest concern with me right now is I have to color these in a fashion so that I can code them to how I want them. And I haven't really gotten a whole lot of flowers, right? I mean, most of these are from Botania, and they're the mystical ones, which turn into these, like, not those, but they turn into petals for, like, the magic for Botania, which I'll get into eventually. There's some really interesting things. Osmith was showing me some of it. Some really interesting things that you can do with them, but not right now. Give me a bone. Pull that string out. I don't see hardly any flowers at all, which means that we need to check this ender lily all the time. Always with the ender lily. Let's go ahead and throw my string back in. It's doing its job well. Grab some bones. And the easiest way for me, instead of flying everywhere trying to get enough flowers to dye these in the fashion that I want, I find it easiest to just grab a bunch of bone meal and you can throw it on the dirt until you get the stuff you want. Grows a lot of grass, but you know, apparently that's legal now in Canada. Heyo! Go Canadians! I've never smoked marijuana in my life, actually. Just interesting fact about me. But hey, if it's legal, then, you know, have at it, right? So there's a yellow one. But what I'd really like is some orange dye. Got a couple yellow ones, that's nice. Some more yellow. Hey, there's some red ones. Now we're talking. I want to use orange for the coloring, which shouldn't really be that surprising, right? I mean, it's lava. Sometimes we use red. It's kind of just like a explosive currencies. Like our server, generally, we use red. Right now, I actually think that Gunpowder's using blue for his lava, but I don't want to take from everybody else's like community pool so much, because that way it gives me the chance to show you guys more. Poppy. Is that not? Hold on a second. Rose red. Yeah, that's shapeless crafting. But that doesn't get you anything. Pulverizer will get you 4. Alright. So the Ender IO sag mill does not get you extra. But that's okay. Because I actually happen to have a pulverizer that I made previously. Because I kind of like thermal expansion quite a bit. I already have a Thaumonomicon. Found that in one of the villages. There's my pulverizer. Okay, so let's just tap in. I can't really tap in anywhere up here. That's fine. Wah! Doesn't have to be special, just throw it in there. I'll turn this into rose red, and then I'll throw the dandelions in there, get some yellow, and then we'll make it into orange. That should be good. Just let it finish. Pulverizer is not something I'm going to use all the time, so it's okay. There's some orange dye. Okay, I'll need 6 of them. Orange, 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 orange. So now both of these are set to orange. They have a shared inventory. Get my flowers out of there. Inventory space, guys. I'm telling you. Gotta get a sorting system soon. Something. I might go into like old school method that we used to use way back when we were playing with Hybrid Lizard and Triple B. Back when I built a cathedral. We had a pretty spiffy system for Feed the Beast back then that I would like to potentially consider. So now we just need something to power the endothermic pump. And for me, the easiest way right now, you could use the lava you're getting to then power it, but it takes a little bit more of a setup to do. Because you have to tell it when to turn off, otherwise it will just sit there and keep draining the lava and keep draining the lava and keep draining the lava, like over and over. It's really not that great. So let's just keep those things there. We're going to take a survivalist generator because we know that it works really well. And let's just take a couple of blocks of coal. It shouldn't need that much, to be honest. So let's set up this. I'm just going to kind of put this down here, right there for now. We will come back and fiddle with it to make the obsidian generator soon. But let us go to the nether, and we'll find a good place to set this up. So I'll bring you back when I have found that perfect place. Hey guys, real quick, I just realized that if we're going to want this thing to run, we're going to need a chunk loader, because the chunk in the nether won't be loaded. I do have a portal gun, and these portals will actually keep chunks loaded, but I already have the nether one set up to my portal and the Naren's portal, so it's easier to get back and forth to our houses. As you can see, he's 1,700 meters away, so kind of nice to be able to just quickly go to his place. So we'll need a chunk loader, which is super easy to make. It's just a enchantment table with gold and then another ender pearl. Which, ender pearl, need some gold, which I think is 5. Yeah, 5. And then the enchantment table, which is 4 obsidian, 2, and then a book. 2 diamonds. I still have my obsidian on me. The 2 diamonds, book, enchantment table with the ender pearl. Beautiful. Alright, now I'll be back and we will explore the nether, find something. When I found something, then I will bring you guys on board and we will set this up. Alright guys, I'm pretty far from my entrance portal as far as, like nether distance. That's the nearest fortress we found, so that's pretty far. But I think this is in a direction that perhaps not ever... Oh my god, there's a fortress right there. I didn't even notice. Oh well. So now we got a fortress there as well. So let's go ahead and set this to pump. That's going to be the location here for us. And I already plopped it down just to make sure that it does in fact work for us. It do. So what we do... I've created this little bridge here. Some of the guides will tell you, plop it down in the lava and whatnot, but that's dangerous. Don't do that. So just plop it up above. It'll get the RF from the survivalist generators here, easy peasy, and then you just bloop. Well, bloop. There we go. Plop that right on there. Now what this will do is just continue to gain. If I flipped it, then it wouldn't pull up anymore, but if I keep it to where it's blue, that's input, so it will constantly be pulling in, and this will pull in when it has something to pump into. So the generators will simply store up their own energy until it runs out. It will obviously run out of coal eventually, so we'll have to keep an eye on that and whatnot. But for now, that's going to do that. And then we're going to put the chunk loader, I'll probably just put it right on top of that. Now what you can do is you can show the lasers and it'll show you the chunks that are loaded. That goes to the center of the chunk I'm currently in and then shows me the area around me that is loaded, which is a pretty big area. So I think this will do pretty well for quite a long time. I could turn it up, but I don't really want to. I'm going to hide the lasers because I don't need to see them. And all I have to do is just leave this here and pull lava out of the other tank. So I'm going to head back there. We will pull lava out of that and we'll show that it does in fact work. And then that'll be the episode, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back in the real world. I'm just going to quickly make a drum. Let's see, 4 plus 7 is 11. Plus another 6 is 17. That should be how many I need for a drum. Zoop. Cauldron, iron, pressure plates on either side, and then iron all around, drum. And this is just going to be to demonstrate more than anything. We'll get a setup in some fashion in the future. Okay, so as you can see, shared inventory. Now what I can do is I can rotate this by just right-clicking it. It will go to output, and then we are filling lava like crazy. And you'll notice that our lava is actually not emptying from the tank itself. because it's continually pulling from the nether. And one of the main reasons that I wanted to use the Ender, what was it? It's not Endertech. It's not Minecraft Reloaded. It's holy crap! I can't even think of what it's called now. Is it Mine Factory Reloaded? No, it's Extra Utilities. Extra Utilities. The reason I wanted to use Extra Utilities is because the pump itself, actually, wherever the hell the pump is, there it is. Okay, the pump itself actually transforms the lava into smooth stone, and that's just more useful simply because of the fact that the draining lava, like flowing lava, liquids flowing, can tend to cause lag for servers, and I'm just trying to minimize that as much as possible. Normally it's not a big deal, but especially if you're doing like large chunks of area that are being, flattened, that could really hurt a server. So we're just going to let this lava drum fill up, and in the next episode, perhaps we will set up our obsidian generation, and we'll call it good to go on there, which will be good. So I'll see you guys then.